welcome to the Inclusive Solutions School. We're very pleased to have you on board, and we really hope you appreciate the learning and teaching that's gone into the courses in the school. I'm Colin Newton, educational psychologist for some 35 years. I've been the director of Inclusive Solutions UK, which is a kind of a training consulting organisation of psychologists and associates, which has been going some 20 years. And prior to that, I was a principal educational psychologist in Nottingham City. So the training that I'll be putting in front of you in these courses is drawn from many influences. I would have to say there was a wonderful legacy, an international legacy, coming from Canada and North America, particularly from Jack Pierpoint, Marcia Forrest, John O'Brien, and John McKnight. Amazing influences. Inclusion Press, that still exists. Linda Kahn is also involved, and so fantastic international influences. We also have to say there's a wonderful legacy and an incredible influence from people in the UK, and I think particularly the disabled leaders in the UK. So here I'm thinking of Tara Flood, Michelin Mason, Richard Reeser, their work, their thinking, their politics, their influence as radical disabled people advocating for a changed, inclusive world. It's been a massive influence on my thinking and on the work that's contained within this training and this teaching. And so what you'll find, if you're wondering what you're going to get out of this training, why you should purchase some of this work, I would say you're going to get some cutting edge thinking, some right out there on the lines of what does it really take to include everyone in our mainstream schools, in our mainstream communities. What does it really take to include everybody? However challenging they might be, however different they might be, what's it going to take? I would say by completing a number of these courses, you'll have answers, strategies, new insights and ways of approaching and thinking about difference, disability, and difficulty, challenging behaviour, than you perhaps had before you set off on these courses. Or perhaps you've previously been exposed to these ideas, but you needed to get in more depth at your own pace in thinking about these ideas in terms of how they apply to your own practice. So we're going to be exploring person-centered planning. We're going in detail, particularly those wonderful group person-centered planning processes, MAPS and PATH, absolutely wonderful approaches. We're going to be looking at some quite unique problem-solving processes. We've got solution circles, insights and solution circles, and our own creation, the Circle of Adults process, which goes very, very deeply and has been adopted by services up and down the UK for in-depth problem-solving around the most challenging behaviour. So we've got quite a lot of content around the person-centered planning and the problem-solving. And we're exploring complex areas like autism, and we've got some interesting work for you to look at around areas like movement differences, aspects of anxiety. You'll also find processes to support your work on inclusion. So for instance, the module on inclusion facilitation is based on real-world activity that we've been carrying out in the last 5 years, which is very cutting edge, very developing work, but it's contained here. You can learn about it, you can hear firsthand from inclusion facilitators that have been working with us over the last few years to learn exactly how you might go about this approach. So you've got inclusion facilitation. And we've also got other processes to learn about, such as chairing meetings, which many of us have to do. There's not really any good training around it. So we've really tried to explore some of those areas where often training is difficult to source. So what you'll find in terms of how this is delivered is a combination of video material, webinar material, text taken from some of the books we've created, some fresh text that's never been written anywhere else, lots of interactive opportunities. We've got community opportunities as well as follow-up via Facebook, LinkedIn, and other sort of social media outlets. We've got ways of keeping in touch with you, which we think you'll appreciate. We have books to support the training as well, many of which are freely available to you once you kind of hook into the work. So we feel sure you'll get a lot out of this work, And any comments, any feedback, just let us know straight back. And anything you want to do in terms of evaluating our courses, please don't hold back. We'd love to hear from you. And don't hold back then. Get in there, sign up to one of those courses, and I look forward to meeting you. Thanks for listening.